which is about the families of the circles. Okay, family of the circles. So how we can find the different families of the circle? I will explain. Okay, so there is the first condition is that how we can find the families when R is equal to A. A is any number, okay? A might be 1, might be 2, might be 3. Because A, we have a condition that A should be greater than or greater than 0, okay? For example, if I say that A is 1, so you have the circle this one, okay? If you have A is equal to 2, you have a circle, for example, this is 1, this is 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you have the circle, this one, okay? So when you combine all the families of the circle, when R is equal to A, you will get this type of graphs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this one. So this is called the families of a circle with this equation when R is equal to any number. A is any number, okay, which is greater than 0. Now there is second part that R is equal to 2A cosine of theta and R is equal to 2A sine of theta. Then you also have the circles, but what are the types of circles we have? For R is equal to 2A, there is a condition. There is a condition. A is the radius, okay? A is the radius. And for cosine of theta, x-axis is the center. X-axis will be the center and tangent to the y-axis. What is meaning by this one? I will explain. See, this is xy plane, right? This full line is x-axis. This full line is x-axis. A is any number. If A is 1 or 2, so the graph will be here. 1, 2, like this one. If 1, so this is the graph. Okay, and this is y-axis, so it make the tangent. For the cosine, you have to draw the circle on x-axis only. Okay, for sine of theta, you will find the graph which is on the y-axis. Okay, so this is the graph. This is the graph for the cosine. 1 circle, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is the graph for the sine. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For example, A is negative. So what will be the graph? The graph will be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Similarly, if A is negative for the cosine, so the graph will be like this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So these are the families of the circle for cosine, for sine, and for R is equal to A. Okay. So any point is given to you, any function is given to you either in the form of sine, either in the form of cosine, you can easily find that this graph is either cosine graph or a sine graph. Okay. So what is the condition that, for example, if I write this is the graph, okay, this is the graph and this is 3 point. So whenever the graph cut y-axis, this is y-axis, okay, this must be the graph for the sine. Whenever the graph cut x-axis, this must be the graph for the cosine. Okay, so this is the difference between sine and cosine graphs. Cosine graph must be on the x-axis and the sine graph must be on the y-axis. Is this clear? Okay, that's good. Now we talk about the other circles, which is the families of rose curves. Okay, now we have two different trigonometric functions. We have sine and cosine. For a sine of n theta, for a sine of cosine of n theta. What are the families of the circle? There are different families. For example, if n is equal to 1, if n is equal to 1, you have these graphs. these graphs. Okay, because here theta is equal to 1 theta. Okay, 1 theta, n is equal to 1, you will have these graphs. When n is greater than 1 means n is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 or something. Okay, so how you can differentiate between these graphs? So this is for the graphs for the sine and these graphs for the cosine. What is the difference between sine and cosine graphs? I will tell you. Whenever we take an even number means 2, 4 and 6. Okay, for even numbers the rose petals will be double. This is n is equal to 2, double means 4, so the petals will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, when n is equal to 4, the double rose petals will be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Similarly for the cosine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now there are 8 petals. How you can find that these petals are for the cosine and these petals for the sine? Okay, see. For the sine, these petals should not touch any line. These petals should not cut any axis. Okay. So what are the axes? These are the axes. Okay. Is there any petal cut this line? No. Is there any petal cut this line? For the even function, I'm just telling. Okay. For the even function, no. Okay. But for the cosine, all the axes, this is the line and this is the line, all the axes should be cut by a petal. This is a petal, this is a petal, this is a petal, this is a petal. Similarly, you can see this is a petal, this is a petal, this is a petal, and this is a petal. And you have to complete this one. Okay. So this is the difference between sine and cosine, that for even number, sine petals does not cut the x and y axis. Okay. For the even numbers of cosine, it will cut all the axes of x and y. This is the one. This is for the even numbers. Now talk about the odd numbers. For example, odd numbers start with 3. Now, from the previous one, we know that the sine function is either on the y-axis down or y-axis up. Okay. Now here you will see it cut the y-axis here down. So it means this is a sine function. Here you will see it cut the x-axis. It means it is a cosine function. Okay. For even numbers, what are the even numbers? N is 3, the petals will be 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. If it is 5, the petals will be 5. Okay. So how you can find the only one petal should cut the x-axis or a y-axis. If cut the x-axis, it means it is a cosine function. If it is cut the y-axis, it means it is a sine function. So this is the difference of petals, which represents the sine and cosine. Okay, let me draw few petals. Okay, so you have to tell me that what are the which functions petals are that. Okay, for example, this is xy plane. Okay. Mm, this is one petal. Okay. Uh, this one is the second one. This one is the third one, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth. So can you tell me which petal is this one? Is that the cosine? Okay, cosine. So what is the number? Cosine which theta? This is the number and here is the theta. You can say R is equal to A. Hamad, for how many petals you have here? You will count. 1. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 petals. It means 9 petals. Whenever you have odd number, the petals what you have to write the exactly same number. For even numbers, you have to divide by 2 because that will be the double. Why it is cosine? Because it touched the x-axis. Because it touched the x-axis. That's why I write here. Okay. Similarly, if you see here, uh, if this is petal 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How many petals you have? 5. And which line it touch? Sine. So because you can say this is the sine. And this is will be 5 of theta. If y is equal to sine, yes. If x equal to cosine, yes, exactly. When it touch the x-axis, it is cosine. If touch the y-axis, it is sine. Because we know r is equal to y, no, y is equal to r sine of theta, and x is equal to r cosine of theta. So you can use by this polar coordinate system. Okay, so this is easy to tell that what are the graphs and how we can find by using the figures. Okay. Similarly, we have other different types of the families. I will discuss here. Now this the two families I discussed. One is the family of the circle, another one is the family of the petals, rose petals. These are okay, right? Now there are other families. Rose curves are okay. Okay, now this is the families of cardioids and lemma. Okay, and the families of cardioid and lemma. What are cardioids? Cardioid means the shape of a heart. The shape of a heart is a cardioid. So there are 4 forms of this one. One is 2 forms are that r is equal to a plus minus b sine of theta. One form is the plus and second form will be the minus. Okay. Similarly, you have r is equal to a plus minus b cosine of theta. One is for the plus and one is for the minus. Okay. Now, in which a greater than 0, b greater than 0 represents the polar curve. No need for the discussion of this one. Now, what are the 4 different types of cardioids and lemma? There is a condition. Here you will see a and b, right? This is a and this is b. A and b. Whenever a divided by b is less than 1, you have this shape. A divided by b is less than 1, you have this shape, and this is called lemma cone with inner loop. Okay, so remember this one. For example, we have r is equal to 3 plus 2 cosine of theta. 3 is a and b is what? 2. Okay, so 3 divided by 2, is this less than 1 or not? Yes or no? No. Okay, so if you have not less than 1, it is greater than 1. 3 divided by 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Okay, so for example, if you have 2 plus 3 cosine of theta, here a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, 2 divided by 3 is less than 1. Yes, less than 1. So this graph will be this shape. Okay, why this shape? See here. X, this is cosine of theta, so it must touch the line. Okay, so this is the shape. Okay, this is for the cosine. Similarly, if you have for the sine, r is equal to 2 plus 3 sine of theta. 2 divided by 3 is less than 1. So this shape will be like this one. Hmm, no, no. Why it is not touching? Just give me 1 second. For y, r is equal to 2 plus 3 sine of theta. Okay, so I will try to make the graph. Okay, so this is the lemma cone with the hole, and why it is upward? Because we have sine of theta. Sine of theta, so it should touch the y-axis. Okay, for cosine, it should be the shape like this one. If it is sine, it will be the shape like this one. Okay, when A and B are both same, then it is the cardioid. Cardioid mean heart shape. If it is a sine and cosine, for example, you can say R is equal to 2 plus 2 cosine of theta. A is equal to B, right? So you can say this is the shape, heart shape. Okay. If R is equal to 2 plus 2 sine of theta, so this will be the shape. Okay. So just see the difference between sine and cosine. Cosine means x-axis, cosine means x-axis, and sine means y-axis. So this is the difference. Okay. Don't confuse with the uh, with the graphs of sine and cosine. Similarly, you have uh, uh, you have the dimple lemma cone. Dimple means a small hole, you can say. So this is the small hole. Okay, just like you can say the same like the heart, but little. You can say this is the heart. Okay, a big curve here. So, but the dimple will be like this one. Okay, like an apple shape, you can say. So this is the dimple lemma cone. And similarly, you have if A divided by B is less than greater than or equal to 2, then we have a convex lemma cone. Convex lemma cone is similar like you can say a circle. Okay, so these are the families. So you have to remember the conditions. What are the conditions? That A divided by B is less than 1. It should be a lemma cone with inner loop. A is equal to B, we have cardioid. A is in between, A divided by B in between 1 and 2, it will be a dimpled lemma cone. Similarly, A divided by B is greater than 2, we have convex lemma cone. Okay, so this is about the lemma cones and cardioids. Similarly, we have these spiral shapes. There are three types of spiral shapes, you can say. When R is equal to A times theta, you have this spiral, the small spiral. Okay, when you have A is equal to R is equal to A theta square root, then this spiral is expand, open. Okay, so the shape of the spiral will be the same, but it open. Similarly, if you have R is equal to A into exponential power B theta, then the starting will be the thin, but in the end it will be expand. Okay, so this is called the logarithmic spiral. Okay, parabolic spiral, logarithmic spiral, and Archimedean spiral. So there are three conditions of the spirals. Okay, so you have to remember the conditions for each families of the graphs, for sine and cosine, for the cardioids, for the spirals. If you remember, you can easily differentiate which graph is this one. Either it is spiral, either it is the cardioid, either it is lemma cone, either it is the rose petal, either it is the circle. So if you know the conditions, you can easily find the graph. Okay. Now there are different types of identities that we have to solve, identify the curves by solving these equations into the xy plane and tell what are the equation represents in xy plane. I will tell in detail. I will remove this one and tell you in detail. Okay. We have to identify the curves. Okay. Identify. Okay. Let me write. Identify the curve by transforming the given polar equation into rectangular equation. Okay, polar equation into rectangular coordinates. Okay, what is the first one? The first one is that r is equal to 5 times secant of theta. Okay, so you have to use this polar equation and convert them into the rectangular coordinates. Rectangular coordinates means you have to change this equation in terms of x and in terms of y. And what are the equation you get? You have to tell me that this is the equation of line, this is the equation of circle, is this equation of parabola, or is this equation of ellipse, or whatever. Okay, so from this equation we have to change this equation into x and y by using these four formulas. We have first formula that x is equal to r cosine of theta, y is equal to r sine of theta, r square is equal to x square plus y square. Tangent of theta is equal to y by x. Okay, so you have to use these four equations to solve this parabolic equation, polar equation into the rectangular coordinates. Okay, now if I change what this is secant. In these four equations, did you find any secant equation? Did you find any secant equation? No. So what is the opposite of secant? What is the opposite of secant? Anybody know what is the opposite of secant? Opposite means inverse of the. So secant is equal to 1 divided by cosine of theta, right? So cosine of theta go on the left side. Secant theta is equal to 1 over cosine of theta. Okay, so cosine of theta multiplied by r, that give me r into cosine of theta is equal to 5. Now you have to tell me r cosine of theta by using these formulas is equal to what? X. So x is equal to 5. X is equal to 5. So this equation x is equal to 5 represents what? Line, right? This equation represents the equation of line. So that equation is equal to a vertical line. Vertical line. Okay? Is this clear? The first one. Now I go to second one. Just last part. Okay. R cosine of theta is equal to x is equal to r cosine of theta. So r cosine of theta I replace with x. So that is equal to x. So x is equal to 5. X is equal to 5 means this is an equation of line. That's it. A vertical line. Okay. Horizontal and vertical lines are only the points. For example, if you say y is equal to 5, that is horizontal line. If you say x is equal to 5, that means a vertical line. Okay. Now the second part, see, and the second part is r is equal to 2 times sine of theta. Now in this case, the first step is that you have to multiply r on both sides. R on both sides. So on the left side, it will become r square, and on the right side, it becomes 2r into sine of theta. Okay. Now we have four formulas. I will write again. X is equal to r cosine of theta. Y is equal to r sine of theta. R square is equal to x square plus y square. And tangent of theta is equal to y over x. Now r square is equal to what? R square is equal to x square plus y square because of this formula. Okay. Now this is 2. R sine of theta is equal to what? R sine of theta is equal to y. Yes. Now this we change the polar form into the rectangular equation. Now from this one we can't say that it is line, it is circle or what. So we have to change this equation in the form of circle. Okay. So that becomes what? X square plus y square minus 2y is equal to 0. Okay. So by completing the square, y square minus 2y. So we need here 1 and minus 1 for completing the square. So that becomes x square plus y square plus 2y plus 1. And this minus 1 go other side, that will be 1. Okay. So this is the formula. This is the formula x square plus y minus 1 whole square is equal to 1. In general, equation of circle, that is x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to r square, where a and b are the radius center, okay, and r is the radius. So in this case 0 and 1 is the center point and 1 is the radius. So this equation tells you what? That this is the equation of the circle. Okay, got it? Is this okay? Again, okay. Which step, Ibrahim? Or in the start, from the start? Okay, I will explain this one again. I write again. Okay. R is equal to 2 sine of theta. Okay. So we have to convert this into the rectangular form. So we don't have any condition for only sine and only r. So what we need, we have to multiply. Here, if I multiply r with sine, so that becomes y. If I multiply r with r, that becomes r square, which satisfy the any of these formulas. Okay. So before that, you have to write the formulas, four formulas, which are the r sine of theta, r cosine of theta, r square is equal to x square plus y square, and tangent of theta is equal to y over x. Okay. See, this is 2 sine of theta. We have r sine of theta. So r is missing. So how we can add r? We have to multiply r on both sides. If you multiply one side, you must multiply on the other side. Okay. So that becomes r square is equal to 2r sine of theta. Okay. This step is clear. Now see the four formulas. R square, this is the R square. R square means x square plus y square. So I just change this R square into x square plus y square. Okay. And 2 remain same. R into sine of theta is equal to y. So you write here y. Okay. Now this is, we convert the polar form into the rectangular equation. Now the second step is that we need to find that what is the curve for the rectangular coordinates. From this equation, you can't say that this is a line. You can't say this is a circle. You can't say this is a parabola. You can't say anything, okay, about the curve. So for the circle, it must be like in this form, that x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to r square. Okay, so this is the general equation of the circle. If we can change this equation to this form, we can say that this is the equation of circle. Okay, so how we can change? See, x square plus y square, 2y I shift on the other side, that becomes minus 2y is equal to 0. Okay, now x square I can write this is equal to x minus 0 whole square. But this equation, can I write in the square form? So for this one, I need to complete the circle. I need to complete the square. So y square minus 2y. How, what I should add that it complete the circle? Okay. So there is a formula that a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay. This is a square. This one is a square. This is minus 2ab plus b square is missing. Okay, this is 2, this is 2. Okay, this is y, this is y. So b is 1. So I need 1. I need 1 here, 1 square me. If I add 1, so I should subtract 1 here. Okay, so for this one, y square minus 2y plus 1 and minus 1, this that is equal to 0. Okay, so that becomes x minus 0 whole square, and we only need these values, these three terms for the square. So minus 1 is extra, you can move that on the other side. So this one is equal to y minus 1 whole square. Minus 1 on the other side will go, that will give you 1. So 1 you can write 1 square. So this is the general form of the circle. Okay, so you can say this is the circle with center point 0 and 1, and radius is 1. 1 is the radius. Center TR. Okay, so Ibrahim, is this clear now? Is this okay? Any question about this one? Okay, good. Any question about this example? No? Okay. Now there is another example that we have to again convert that. What was that? That R is equal to 4 cosine of theta plus 4 sine of theta. Okay. So we have to use these four formulas. I write again and again because you remember. Okay. X is equal to R cosine of theta. Y is equal to R sine of theta. R square is equal to X square plus Y square. And tangent of theta is equal to Y over X. Okay. Anybody can tell me that what I should write, what I should do the first step, because we have only cosine of theta and sine of theta, and there is no such formula that for only sine and cosine. For that we need R. So it means if we multiply R on both sides, yes, multiply R on both sides. So the left term will be R square, the right term will be 4R cosine of theta plus 4R sine of theta. Okay, so R square becomes what? X square plus Y square, and 4R cosine of theta becomes 4X, and that becomes 4Y. Okay, from this equation, can anybody tell me that this equation in the form of which curve? Nobody can tell me. Okay, so we have to change this equation into the form of some curve. So what is the possibility to change this into the form of any general equation that is only circle? Okay, so I just shift 4x on the left side and 4y on the right side. That becomes this one. Okay, but the general equation is like this one: x minus a whole square y minus b whole square is equal to r square. Now to complete this circle, what I need? X square minus 4x. This is a square minus 2ab plus b square. This is 2ab. 2ab means 2. This is a and this is b. So it means b is 2. So we need b square. B square means 2 square we need. So if I add 2 square, I should subtract 2 square. Okay. So that becomes what? X square plus 4x. This is minus 4x plus 4 and minus 4. Okay. Similarly, for the y square minus 4y, I need plus 4 and I should write minus 4. We only need these three terms, this three and this three, this one and this one on the right hand side. Okay, so what becomes x square minus 4x plus 4 plus y square minus 4y plus 4, which is equal to minus 4 minus 4 minus 8, and other side will go, that give you 8. So this is equal to what? X minus 2 whole square, and this is equal to what? Y minus 2 whole square, which is equal to 8. So you can write square root of 8 whole square. So this is the circle with center point 2 and 2 center. And what is the radius? Radius is square root of 8. Okay, got it? Understand? Yes or no? This is similar, like the last two examples are similar to this one. The last example, the second one. Okay, so just we have to, yes, it's same. Just completing the square and you find that this is the equation of the circle. Okay, now we have 10 minutes break and then we discuss the other examples. Okay, so any question about these examples?